it is my pleasure to have you visit my channel. Give the video a pre-start by hitting the subscribe button. In response to Liv Morgan's most recent tweet, in which she took a huge swipe at Rhea Ripley, Dominik Mysterio has spoken up. Ripley was blasted as a loser by Liv Morgan. At the end, Unsavory Dom retweeted, "Photo Dominik isn't a part of. Nightmarish experience. Tragically, Rhea Ripley was thrown out of her, living it up at SummerSlam. Morgan, in 2024, when Dominik duped her and she paid the price. The Women's World Championships Ripley is now hell-bent on getting even. Upon the pair following her loss to real-life Morgan, Rhea Ripley was unable to compete at SummerSlam 2024, keep her emotions in check, and was discovered crying in the wings. A monk named Damien comforted Ripley during a moving moment that was recorded through the cameras used by WWE. Liv ended up disclosing the Twitter profile picture and contacted Mommy, the failure, St. Dominik, Uncle Mysterio, as if taking pleasure in the slight, and saw it and retweeted it. As seen below, Liv and Dominik Mysterio became close. Morgan, in the absence of Rhea Ripley, Liv, a promise that Morgan made earlier this year was that she would steal from her mom on her journey of vengeance. She orchestrated her plot out over the period of a few months before succeeding where Liv had initially placed Ripley from further duty in order for her not have the authority to meddle with her journey to court Dominik. She ultimately triumphed. Rhea's Women's World Championship title disappear from WWE Raw for a while. Duration of Lee was able to persuade in some way. She told Dominik how much she loved him, looked after him better than Mommy could have. Ultimately, her strategy was successful, and Dominik was able to switch on Rhea Ripley during SummerSlam, a mega hit rematch in the year 2024 between Ripley and Liv. Morgan's romance is inevitable. At some point soon after that, it's still how successful the Eradicator is in secure victory in her upcoming encounter with. In the squared circle, life happens. St. Dominik. It was just Mysterio and his locker room. Sounds of the WWE audience, far away, echoing within the rooms he had recently. The match after an intense struggle, it caused muscular fatigue, and his thoughts were running all night long, but it wasn't success or failure in the battle arena that consumed his ideas. It was the phrases concerning Liv Morgan, which had jolted him to his central. Dominik's phone was constantly ringing, accompanied by alerts from social media platforms, wrestling message boards, Inferno, and written expressions of affection from loved ones, all querying the same subject as before. He was fully aware of what Liv had said to Liv Morgan, to whom they were making reference. Superstar, who was both fiery and courageous, who had always faced challenges head-on, referred to Rhea Ripley as having lost in. While on stage, the remarks resounded in Dominik's thoughts, and not merely in, as a statement that struck more profoundly than he had anticipated. Hey there, Rhea Ripley, to Dominik, was more than just a wrestler. She served as both his guide and collaborator in the end of the world, and a person he looked up to greatly. He was sheltered by her when, while some cast doubt on him, he discovered his starting a company that has the potential to brutal, and most importantly, he treated him like relatives who continued to label Rhea as a failure, went beyond just trash talking. It wasn't a person's vulnerability, the deer that Dominik held. His locker room door slowly swung open as Finn Balor entered. His customary grin turned into a worried scowl. All right, youngster, with his weight shifting onto against the wall, his limbs twisted. Although Dominik could see the look on his expression betrayed a disparity in his story. Considering Liv's statement, he acknowledged there was a hint of disappointment while attempting to push against the wall, or making their way to sit down next to Dominik. On the seat, she is attempting to slide beneath the skin of Rhea, and you, too, according to Finn, fully understand the concept of mind games that target the mind. War, but you must not be affected by it. Dominik, I know, responded via his tongue. Served at misleading, but that's besides the point. Life has always been quite challenging, strong enough for her to label Rhea as a failure. Senses a deceit nodding, Finn gave the signal. Grasping the more profound link, Dominik and Rhea make things difficult, most notably when someone you care about is involved. Be mindful, though, because this is the core of our enterprise, outlook, and lives attempting to change the story didn't allow Dominik to take a long breath. The meaning of Finn's statement, however, his resentment remained dormant. Liv's condescending look was plain to notice it. She assuredly conveyed her thought, labeled Rhea a failure in the eyes of the WWE fan base. Despite its lack of quality, it had the potential to serious harm if not addressed, not opposed. She will not be allowed by me. Avoid punishment, according to Dominik, his tone taking on a more determined tone. We've all been taken advantage of by Rhea. To stand by as someone like Liv insults her. The mischievous grin reappearing on Finn's face. Wow, that's really fantastic, D. Just keep in mind, this goes beyond physical altercations. You need to exercise caution when you deal with this virtual life. And what happens if you must play it if you desire to win? Higher quality. Once again, Dominik didn't want to. Currently competing in the same race at Concepts, he was unable to release Liv's comments and was unable to afford to answer, surrender to his feelings, and fall into a trap. Similar to Rhea, he needed to plan ahead, showed him what to do the next week on WWE Raw. In the end, Dominik was able to locate his possibility. He had solicited a microphone session from the producers, and when his songs became popular, as the crowd went wild with a combination of applause and drinking, he strode resolutely toward the ring. Everyone set to take the stage at WWE Universe. Dominik started pacing last week. Around the circle, Liv Morgan made the decision to out loudly refer to Rhea Ripley as a woman who is at the head of this industry and has won titles while defeating top competitors. The audience booed her as a failure, gave a range of responses, while some of them definitely sigh with Liv. Finally, understanding the Judgment Day as he continued, Dominik paused to confront them. Ultra contour lens. We're all in this together. WWE to show, harass each other in order to gain access to people. But you went too far when you showed Rhea no respect. Do you believe that phoning? She's going to put you ahead of the game. Think it will enhance your appearance? I've got something to tell you, Rhea. Ripley is far from being unsuccessful. Dominik has. The volume increased, deeply committed. The amount of work that Rhea has put into this matters pertaining to me and the Day of Judgment.